What's up, guys? Will here from SHADOW ASCENT, signing back in. And I don't even know, man. I don't know where to begin, but my life has definitely taken a turn. Another change. Change has been a prominent theme of my life the last few years. I'm going through a tough situation. It's been the toughest week of my life. The last week, my fiancée broke up with me. And in the next couple weeks, I'm going to have to move out. I'm probably going to be moving back in with my parents, at least for a little while, just to get everything set. And I'm grateful that that is a factor in this, because if I had to move out alone, that'd be very hard. You know, so far this week, being alone has been the biggest challenge. I've kind of always needed someone to talk to be there with. And in a way, it's to kind of fill that void of the emotions, the emotional void of losing your significant other, your fiance, the person you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, that you've been with for 2.5 years. I know that's not like a crazy amount of time, but it is impossible to fill that void immediately. But you still have to have people there you can talk to, a support system. And I think I have like the greatest support system in the world, man. And I'm so appreciative and grateful for that, because it would not be as and it's not easy. I hate to use that word, but it would not be as easy. It would not be as simple for me to get through all of this stuff if I didn't have those people. If I didn't have my parents, who I called immediately when everything went down. If I didn't have my friends who hung out with me and heard me out on everything and supported me and lifted me up during a time where I was at my lowest. It happened on Sunday. I'm not going to go into the details for sake of privacy reasons, but 1 year on the day after we got engaged, she broke up with me. There's a lot of accountability that needs to be taken for me, certainly. Things that I did that were a catalyst for the downfall of our relationship. And of course, there's a lot of things that were on her side as well. And self-reflection has been key. I've been nonstop thinking about everything, trying to unpack it all throughout this time and this past week, of where I went wrong, what is it that I want, what is it that I learned and took from this period of time. This is and was my first relationship. And so naturally, there's so much that you're going into and learning about. When we first met, she was 21, I was 23. We're so young, so innocent, and half a year goes by and we move in together. A year passes after that, we get engaged, and a year passes after that, and our relationship has come to an end. And she mentioned that, taking a break she mentioned it's a breakup, but that she's open to trying again. Regardless of how I look at this, in order for me to move on, because even though I am open to that possibility in the future, I also need to process this as a permanent breakup in order to heal, in order to grow, in order to focus on myself and the things that I need to do to cultivate a healthy lifestyle and face that pain. I've been doing a good job. I've been seeing people a lot. I've been talking to people. Like I said, I've been reflecting a lot. I've been crying a lot, a ton. Like I said, Monday, the day after we broke up, was the hardest day of my life. Just sobbing constantly, having to go to work on 2 hours of sleep. Lucky I even got that much sleep, but didn't want to eat, didn't want to sleep, didn't want to drink anything. I just wanted to lay in bed. I wanted to rot. But you got to get up. You got to get up. It's a new day every day. And every single day you get closer to that healing process. And I think when I move out in the coming weeks, and back in with my parents, and even able to really tap back into my roots, not have to pay rent. Dude, I've had to pay all these damn bills. And for a period of time, not having to do that, I can save money. I'm going to unleash something within. It's not hatred. It's not anger. I will never have a place in my heart for this person. I love her to death. I will always want to care for her. But in focusing on myself, I get to spend all of that energy and rekindle it, and focus it on things that need to be focused on, like things that matter to me. Creating content, working out, writing, those sort of hobbies that feel fulfilling, creative endeavors and kind of put women to the side for a period of time. And I think that that's what is giving me the sense of hope, giving me the sense of, okay, I can do this. I can really regain that feeling of self again. Not to say that I didn't have it during our relationship, but there's a lot you sacrifice. I mean, like I said, I moved from the comfort of my parents' home and my life in with her so she could finish college. We moved back near our hometown after a year went by. Got engaged. Like there's a lot of sacrifices that went involved, and I do wish I could kind of go into more details here in this video about everything. But again, I just want to be respectful of privacy. But it is the most challenging time of my life, and I'm thinking a lot about the things that I feel like I did wrong, with a lot of respect for myself, because I'm human and I'm going to make mistakes. This isn't it. I'm going to make more mistakes as I go on, but I'm going to learn. I'm 26 and I feel extremely old, but I'm still very young. And I don't look at that as an excuse, because I know a lot of people will say that, oh, you're young, you got time. It's more so, I still am young and I have to be comfortable going out and failing, going out and making mistakes, going out and learning and messing up. And within that, being able to take accountability and know where it is that I messed up, have a sense of, it's okay, it's all right, you're good. Just pick yourself up, learn where you went wrong, learn what you can do better in the future. And I also have to learn about how to be there for myself from a sense of, there were a lot of things that she did too. There were a lot of things that I didn't like. There were a lot of things that I would need from a new relationship, whether that's, like I said, with her, whomever. It's a distant future, but there's a lot of things that I need. There's a lot of things that I want. There's a lot of things that I deserve as a human being, as a man, that I am going to make a priority in whenever that time comes up again. But I am not reliant upon a relationship. I'm not reliant upon her for my well-being. Going forward, I have myself, I have my family and my friends, and I have more time. And it's about using that time wisely and to the best of my ability. It's going to be painful, and I have to face that pain. I can't run from it. I can't. I got to be able to sit down with it and sit with the uncertainty. That is what my therapist told me. You have to be able to sit with the unknown of what the future might hold, because your brain craves that clarity and the sense of knowing, and okay, this is what the future holds. This is what's going to happen. But not knowing what she's thinking, not knowing what she's going through, not knowing how the next few months are going to play out, not knowing how the next few weeks are going to play out, it's hard. It's anxiety inducing. And it's important to learn how to sit with that, because those are the times where you really can cope and fall into bad habits. These are the times where you're at your most vulnerable as a human being, and in a state that you can attach yourself to toxic things. And the first thing a lot of people think of when they break up, drowning in their sorrows with alcohol, right? Other illicit substances and habits that are destructive, but that is something you have to keep in check during a time like this. So being self-aware and not letting oneself drift into the world of comfort and distraction. I don't have the capacity right now to play video games, to really watch sports. It's too normal. I have to sit with these feelings and sit with these thoughts, like I have to. And over time, I think that that's what's going to help the most. And I think in the long run, the one thing I've heard from my parents, the one thing I've heard from my friends was that, hey, it's better this happened now. And over time, you might think this was for the best. And as hard as it is, or looking in the future, as hard as it was, this probably might be the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, like I said. But one day at a time. And to anyone else out there who might be going through this as well, like, you have a lot to give. And I'm sure in anyone who is going through a breakup, you have a lot of guilt that you're probably carrying, things that you think you did wrong, horribly wrong, and maybe you did things wrong. But that's how you learn. You have to face it. You have to sit there and be willing to hold yourself accountable, and also understand that relationships are a two-way street. And more often than not, things go south not just because of one partner. So that is why I say, like, be willing to look at things and see, what do I want out of a relationship? What do I need? What are some things that led to the downfall of this one? And how can I apply that knowledge into the future, in whatever case that might be? So, yeah, man, this is extremely painful. I mean, I'm going through it like still, and it's Sunday night right now. It was Sunday night last week when we broke up, and I got that dread for the week coming around, but all I can do is move forward. All I can do is take that next step. Go to tomorrow, survive the day. You got this. You got to get up. You got to get up. So this is definitely the most challenging time I've ever had in my life. But with that come the most lessons. With that comes the most growth. And that has to be the mindset. That has to be the mindset I'm going to apply. I have a level of pain right now that I want to harvest into hunger, into desire, into passion, and still be open to love for the future. Because I think a lot of times we can close ourselves off to love as a result of a relationship. Well, if I mess this up, there's nothing for me in the future. There's no way I'm going to find anyone in the future. And that naturally can be a subconscious notion that we carry with us throughout the next period of our life. But I think it's dangerous. It's a little bit, you know, I don't know. Everyone's different, but I'm on the fence, and I don't really think it's a great idea to like be messing around and getting out there, sleeping around right after a relationship, or trying to get into seeing someone new again. Like, you need time to heal. You need time to learn, time to grow, time to sit with yourself, time to vent to your loved ones, talk to a therapist, whatever it is, and be able to move on before any of that can really happen. At least that's my thought. That's my 2 cents on it. So use this opportunity to value the relationship that is guaranteed from birth to death, and it is the one you share with yourself. That is my advice to anyone out there, and that is the mindset I'm trying to carry going forward. And one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, onward we wander. Thank you, guys.